choose some pretty high-end athletes, and then pick others for a JV team, and then pick others for a freshman team. You know, we don't have that, and it's okay. You know, we have some great athletes on this team this year. We're excited about that. So after last year's season, where I think after last year was our second year, we won a game our first year, a game last year. That's 2 games that we won, and NIA finally said, hey, we're recognizing a trend here. We'll put you down into what's called 3A, where we play against a little bit smaller high schools, which was exciting. We won some games this past year, quite a few games. We scored quite a bit. We were able to travel to some further schools, which is exciting. So we're really glad we were classified this year. We do have some teams and some athletes and some programs on our campus who do phenomenal in their sports. You know, girls soccer is one of them. We have a couple of those athletes, thankfully, and they go to states every year, and they compete very competitively at states at the 4A level. So we just have a little bit of a variation, but we're really glad when we landed this past year in 3A. I don't want to say we skated in, but we came into playoffs in a pretty healthy position. Not healthy enough where we couldn't play someone a little weaker in the other division. We had to play the state champs from last year in the division. But we got there. We made it to the, we'll call it the show. We made it there.
Made to the dance.
Yeah, there you go. We were really excited about that. Hey parents, before I move on at all, and I haven't, for whatever dynamic, I don't know how to explain it, I haven't met many or all of you this whole season. You know, we're on our side of the sideline during the games, and you guys don't come out, thankfully. You don't come out and hang out at practice too much, and when you do, though, it's very encouraging. So if you guys have been out there to practice, thank you for that. But you know, this guy's our social guy. He knows a lot of you and talks quite a bit to you. I'm good here where it's kind of general, and this is where I fit better. But I want to mention parents, and these guys, they don't get it. I know we try to teach them. I try to share in class, you try to share at home. They won't get it until they have their own kids one day, but man, oh man, oh man, the time and the energy and the effort and the money and the resources and the blood, sweat, and tears, can I be real? That's so much that you just pour into them, into our program this year. You know, on behalf of Coach Gabe and I, we just thank you so much. It is ginormous.
Here.
Thank you. Thanks for that. It's huge. It's such a big effort on your behalf. Thank you so much. First, I want to recognize our team in the order of our freshmen, or sophomores, juniors, and seniors. We'll have them walk up and stay up, so you can see. Well, you can see how. I think you see bottom heavy our program is in terms of our younger athletes, which is really encouraging for the next few years to come. So, my athletes who are freshmen, when you hear your name, come on up here. You'll receive a certificate of participation. You'll receive everyone played really, really well on a varsity level. So you guys are going to be getting a varsity letter and a varsity pin. And then some of my returning athletes, they also receive a varsity bar along with their letter and pin. All right. So freshmen, when I call your name, come on up. Presley Cepeda. Avery, come on up. Talia. Sienna. Marseille. Kimara? Yolet? And Ariana? Vicky? So parents and families, these are just the freshmen that are here tonight. We had such a young team this year. Coach Gabe and I just weren't really sure what to do with all of that. We did decide, hey, given the, respectfully I want to say this, the caliber of the athletes we have generally at our school, we found last year there was a lot of injuries, even in a non-contact sport like flag football. So we said, hey, we need some depth, and we're not going to look at their size. We're not going to look at their inexperience. We're not going to look at their 14-year-old kiddo status. We see a lot of goodness in tryouts, and we're just going to keep them. And we're going to build this program, and we have some really decent upperclassmen who can be great leaders for them to follow. And then Coach Gabe and I decided, hey, we'll just have this thing called a practice squad, practice team. That fell by the wayside so fast because once we needed to grab someone and throw them into the game, boom, they shone, they shined, they did so well in a pretty stressful situation as, again, 14-year-old kiddo at a varsity level game. So that practice squad, that practice team, it became kind of a joke because we found several starters in these little guys up here who just did so well for us in the entire season. So freshmen, thank you so much. So we'll turn our attention to my sophomores now. If you guys want to come up and hear your name, please. Nadine. Ryan.
Also, Ryan is getting a bar on her.
Reagan. Addison?
Addison's also getting a bar on her letter.
And Malik. Again, parents, you've just seen over half of our team in freshmen and sophomores. Again, this whole practice thing we had, practice squad we had in our brain, wow, that became a joke. They stepped up to the plate in such an incredible way. We have, two returners up here who am I missing? Who am I missing? I'm sorry? Gabby, your sophomore? Get up here, Gabs! Okay, I got some words that might redeem some of this, I think. My goodness. We have this athlete, Gabby. The maturity, the experience, the athleticism, completely off the charts. Completely. She has a little bit of a shoulder issue, so that was, we lost our starting quarterback before we even started this year. Thankfully, again, we had some girls that just stepped in boldly to that position and did so great with that. But man, Gabby, you're just the kind of athlete, I told you this last year. She's also I don't know if you're my catcher anymore, your dang shoulder. But given her athleticism, given this awesome level of athlete that we have in just a 15-year-old kiddo, I always forget, wow, she should be a senior already, based on what she just shows on the fields, plural, because she plays a couple different sports so darn well. So Gab, I apologize. Thanks for nothing. Hey, and now my juniors, we're getting thinner with our list here. Juniors coming up. Jalen. Morgan?
Morgan is also getting a bar on her letter.
Skylar? And Lily.
Lily is also getting a bar on her letter.
So along with a few sophomores we have now more and more leadership as we get up into our freshmen. We have Morgan and Lily. They were returning athletes from previous years, and it was great to have their leadership on the field. These younger girls, again, 14-year-old kiddos, maybe never did much more of the football than play catch once or twice, ever. And then they come out and make our team, and they do really well. They have some leadership they're looking at, and that's some of our juniors up here right now. So girls, thank you so much. Good? This is where Coach might get a little emotional. We have a couple seniors who, wow, exemplified everything we could ever ask of them in every part of every dynamic of the sport itself. Leadership, leading in anything from, wow, group text to having fun to snapping at girls who were just squirrely when they shouldn't have been. And you know, we just love every part of our seniors, and we only had 2. And they had to fulfill so many different roles and fit into so many different shoes, and all our underclassmen looked up and did so well with this leadership. Hey, first I want to call up Otto. And Diamond Hunter. Coach and I are super grateful that Otto made a decision this past winter to not stick with her traditional, most comfortable, probably her best sport, which was basketball, and she made a shift into flag football. And
basketball was not happy about that.
they were not happy about
Basketball.
It was
wow, we were incredibly grateful to have Otto on the team. The leadership was there, of course, the athleticism was there, of course. Man, you bring so much fun to it. Because we got to be serious and kind of raise our voice every now and then.
Yeah.
But you know us kind of well, you're like, yeah, relax, girls. They'll get over being mad in a few minutes. And you just brought so much joy and joyous and happiness and just fun loving into the team. I really appreciate it for that. Thank you. Woo! I think Diamond got upset with me in our playoff game because for a play, I took her out. And that may have been the only time the entire season, except for maybe a stinger here or there, she had to walk off or limp off for just a play. But man, we never made the choice to take her out. Offense, defense, every single game, every single play, the entire season.
Double duty.
All the time. I mean, she would leave completely exhausted every single day in practice and the game. So Autumn, thank you so much for all of that effort. Thank you. I'd love to share that Diamond, flag football in America is the fastest growing girls sport right now. It's just taken off like a rocket. It's unbelievable. And Diamond is one of our few players who is actively pursuing club flag football. She's in touch with some of the higher coaches in town, some of the leagues in town. She's involved with some of the girls who are in 4A and 5A schools where they're doing really well, and she's playing alongside with them. So I'm really looking forward to see where your future is with this endeavor and this sport. It's going to be really exciting to see where you go. And then again, the whole leadership thing. These guys, man, they look at you. These freshmen, these sophomores, they look up to you and they say, "Wow, I want to be like that girl in flag football one day." So hey, you keep doing your thing. You're doing it really well. All right, thank you, seniors.
All right. So, as Coach kind of went over before, we did have a pseudo practice team for a little bit, and like Coach said, everyone said, you know, that went away pretty fast considering how injuries happen. You know, we really harped on them, saying like, hey, don't matter. It doesn't matter what your title says. It doesn't matter what position you play or how much time you get. Your time's going to come. And a lot of those 3 girls in total that were on the quote-unquote practice team, and they really made a big difference for us, whether it be in practice, attitude on the sidelines, and just their energy on and off the field. I'm going to highlight one of them right now for the most improved player. This individual has been nothing but a pleasure to work with. I've never had to get on her about her grade. I've never had to, I don't think I've ever raised my voice at her once. And that's awesome. This individual is Avery Flores for the most part. The next individual that became actually a pretty pivotal starter for us with her legs of freaking, she was like a rabbit on the field. She literally jumped in first year playing football, first year really learning the game. And I remember her first day at practice or for the intramural tryouts. She was getting really hard on herself because she wasn't catching, but we saw the potential, and she ended up becoming one of our best players. And this goes out to the league. We have one more most improved player. This individual's been, I mean this with nothing but respect. I call you girls dogs, right? I'm like, hey, my dogs, right? I'm like, I want the dog out of me, right? And this individual's been nothing but bringing that energy. She brought the boy out of us, right? Her energy when she was on the field or off the field on the sideline is much appreciated. When we sent her into rush, her presence was known. When we sent her on the line to block for our quarterback, her presence was known. And Sienna, this one's for you. Heck yeah.
And families, these are our most improved athletes. We were only supposed to pick, hey, we're supposed to pick one for all these categories. And we looked at each other, we got 25 girls on this team, and there's no way we're picking one. So, it was tough to narrow down to 3 even. So, girls, this is really, really well deserved. You guys came in, fast but couldn't catch. I don't know. We had all kinds of attitude, but we didn't know how to direct that. By the second half of our season, we had no problem writing their name on the whiteboards for starters. Easy. So girls, great job. Proud of you.
Yeah. This next individual has been, I'm probably the proudest of this individual the most. We wouldn't be as unified, as strong, just in general. She took care of all the ins and outs. Basically my right hand. We could not have been successful without this individual when it was coming to practice, setting up practice, helping out with the senior night. She was the spirit of our team, 100%. So valuable in many ways. Morgan, you were super important to me. Super important to coach. You were our spirit. You were the spirit of this team, 100%. And I want you to know that you were 100% everything we needed.
Morgan easily deserved that award to be the most spirited on the field. But we only put 7 on the field at a time. That's a third of our team, not even quite a third of our team. Then we have a huge line of girls behind us coaches. And we encourage them, hey, you need to be loud, you need to talk up to teammates, let's go, let's get louder. And there was one voice that was exceptionally loud and always focused on the game and always yelling out the players' names when something great happened, whether it was offense or defense. This player also got plenty of playing time, but by far on the sidelines, they were the most spirited player on our team. And Talia, that was her. And these are our 2 who are most team-spirited athletes. Alright, cool. Hey, our next one award that we turned into 3 because we couldn't narrow it down so well is our Team Leadership Award. And again, we have 3 girls who by far stood out above the rest. One who stood out quite a bit on, gosh, I want to say offense, but she's great on defense too. I'm going to say offense. Okay, good. And she was a returner of ours. And I'm so glad that we were able to say, oh, hey, I'm so glad your soccer season's over. You have a day off now. Come on out to football. You're going to be practicing. And that's what we've done for about 2 or 3 years now. It's been great. So when we're on the field, and there's times where it's just like one play after another, we're just getting our tails handed to us, and that's just football sometimes. But this girl, she stood up, and she sucked it up, and she says, hey girls, let's go, let's get back in this, we can do this, we can finish this, we can get better, we can be stronger, let's keep moving forward, let's go. And that offensive voice on the field, that leadership on the field, that person that younger players that we had a lot of looked up to, that would be Ryan. Come on up. Yeah.
Real quick, on Ryan's behalf, although you got injured every game, walk out the field crying, I was always proud because you would always come back, I'm good, give me a second, I just need a second. She had a bloody nose last game, she kept playing with a plugged nose, she ran out there and caught for a first down. It was, Ryan, we appreciate it.
So this is mostly, I guess, like I say, on defense. Again, we won several games and did not win more than several games. So our defense, they kind of got ran over a few times. You know, Gabe and I would look at each other and say, yo, hey, do you see their sideline over there? Those girls are bigger than us. A lot of them are bigger than us. We have 14-year-olds out there. Look at them. You know, Preston are 76 pounds. So defense needed some motivation. Defense needed some leadership. Defense needed some voice and some, not just a voice, but to go out there and make plays almost every single time, pulling those flags, cross field to pull a flag, and it was consistent every game. And it was consistent from last year as well. So when our youngins see this, they want to step up. They want to fill that role. They want to be like that girl. And that girl is Lily. Come on up.
Really quick, Lily, didn't matter who she was up against. She could be someone being lined up against someone our height, twice my size. Like, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. She was always in it to win it. She was always, ready to roll, and you've played a lot of football here at Durrell, and it shows, girl, so we appreciate you. Thank you. One more student we highlighted in leadership. It takes a lot to walk into a new sport, and some of you never played, learn the ins and outs of the game, getting other girls to respect you based off of your playing ability, telling others to get right, get set, getting on girls when they weren't running the routes right, getting on other leadership that weren't doing what they needed to do. This individual is probably one of my favorites, as I've known this one for a while now. On the field, on the court, this one goes to Autumn. Here you go. Appreciate you. Love you.
like Diamond, Autumn was our all-the-time offense player, all-the-time defense player. Hey, I'm sorry you're thirsty right now, but I need you back out there, player. She just went non-stop the entire game. So on defense and on offense, she was there, once again, for our younger athletes to look up to and say, wow, can't wait to be like that in this game, or wow, I want to be like that next practice, or next week, or next season, I want to be like Autumn was. So leadership, we love you guys a lot. Thank you for stepping up for our young team. You guys are wonderful.
Guys, every single one of you, this was so hard. We could have given everyone, you know, this award, you know, in every right. It was hard, and you know, getting kind of two choices. Obviously we both agreed to just getting a pick. You know,
Call this one.
yeah, definitely.
Hey, Gabby, just come on up. I want to introduce one of our most valuable players this year. So it was devastating.
Yeah.
Not even day one, like day -5 when we started. What do you mean you can't throw a football? You threw great last year. Like, no, my shoulder. Use the other shoulder. Of which she did pretty well, actually. So that's where Morgan came in, actually. He said, I'll do it, coach. Let me throw the football, which was amazing. And that's, they were the accolades you deserved earlier from coach. So Gabby being this, what, you're 16? And you've been doing this athletic thing since 4 or 5 or 6, so at least 10 years. So in softball, that's her main sport, she's a catcher. When you catch in softball, you see everything, every single play, every single pitch, every single action for 2 straight hours. When you play quarterback, you see everything developing. And last year, it was amazing. The moment hike and the moment she received the ball, she saw the defense developing and she could read it and she knew who she had to throw the ball to. We didn't get that this year, that's why we were so upset. But we did some homework, we looked at her stats, we added up our numbers, we looked at everything else, and it was ridiculous. Her stats, her offensive plays, after she snapped the ball, she would block and then just get open. And she was just always open. And then when she wasn't open, she still caught the ball. And there were so many downs, there were first downs, so many catches, there were so many yardages that she put out on the offensive field just by being available and being open, know how to move in the field. She just knew how to orient herself so well on any athletic field, it seems. And wow, your stats just blew us away offensively compared to everyone else's stats. So it's so well deserved for you to be our most valuable player. But we have more.
I want to add one thing. In football, there's a lot of lingo. There's a lot of different, I mean, Morgan could come out of the huddle and say bubble gum, hopscotch, Fortnite, and left, right? She would know it, right? And whereas other girls would kind of, you know, it didn't even matter. She'd be walking kind of out of the huddle, kind of hearing it, and then, all right, I'm good. Like she studied everything we needed you to study. Like I said, it was freaking devastating. We found out you were going to be our quarterback, but like I said, things worked out, and we just really appreciate it. The second most valuable player goes out to Diamond Hunter. So, I'm going to say a little bit, and I know Coach is going to say. When I met Diamond, this was last year, Diamond was a punk. Still is. But so your junior year. So your junior year, you know, different person compared to who you are today. Man, I appreciate every ounce of time you spent on the field. I know that you know, some days you didn't have the best days. Some days you didn't have, you know, some days you were really awesome. Days it feel like you were in it. But whenever you stepped down the field, whether we were calling out a play or you were doing something on the field, you took it seriously this year. And it showed. And every single one of these little girls looks up to you. You're so important, and it's been such a pleasure being with you this year. It's a shame that, you know, we only had 2 years together. We'll never meet again after today. But I love you to death. Day and night different, and I appreciate it.
We often say with our hearts, we love you guys like our daughters. We really mean that when we say that. And we're allowed, parents, admin, teachers, kiddos, we're allowed to have our favorites. We don't not to have our favorites. So Diamond, You're my favorite school daughter. Thank you. All right, you guys have a seat, thanks. I'm just kidding, come back up here. Seriously, come back up. Come here. Let's go. All right, cool. We have one last award, and man, we talked forever.
Yeah.
We just couldn't decide. And the same two names started coming up again. Whether we were looking at statistics, we're looking at leadership, looking at, offense, defense, looking at everything, and the same two names came up, and it was Gabby and Diamond again. This is what we had for the past few months. So this last award is called Coach's Choice Award. And because we talked so much about our youth, and we said, no, next year. No, they're going to be back next year. They're easily going to step into that role. They're going to easily receive that award. It's going to be them next year because we see what they have this year. So we wanted to look at our seniority. We wanted to look at our leadership. We wanted to look at the girls who just, man, they just stepped into every kind of position, every kind of shoe every kind of hat that we asked them to wear. They put it on for us. So our Coach's Choice Award goes to, mine goes to Don.
And mine went to Gabby as well. So. Gabby, sit down and stay here.
Stand up.
Right here. Autumn, come here. We very much appreciate you guys. I think that's pretty clear by now. When I went to that day, I said I had to leave school or practice a little early. I did go and get you guys something. Fortunately, this thing still isn't here, but I have a mock-up. I really do appreciate you guys' time, commitment to the sport. You freaking gave with basketball. Sorry, Dad, Mom, and Dad. I know you guys put a lot of time into that. So it's a lot of time and money.
We're a winning team this year.
Yeah, but we're on a winning team. but yeah.
Sorry, I love you.
Yes, so we.
Is it a car?
Yes. We are super happy to give these guys to you. Give these to you guys when they come. So it's from me, Coach. So
Oh, it's wraps. It's wraps.
we got them the Letterman jackets for their season. Diamond has the football, that's the 17, and Autumn gets 2 patches. She gets the basketball and the football. So we very much appreciate you guys.
That is so funny.
One more thing. Real quick, if it was your first year ever playing football, stand up. First year. Yeah. That's every grade. Sit down. Couple shout outs to a couple parents. Actually, a lot of you guys. Thank you guys for driving out to the boonies. Thank you guys for coming out and supporting the team, whether that be giving some of these girls some rides, giving them gas money, or whatever it was. I know that Morgan's parents, you guys have been awesome as far as helping out with ride sharing. I know Kimaro, I know your dad's not here, but he was awesome with that. Autumn, everybody, all the parents from the bottom of my heart, that's a big deal. Thank you guys. Thank you. Person I want to highlight is Lily's father. Please stand up. not have as much success without your videos and you recording every game, because we had film days. We went through it. We really went through how things were, what defenses were going to look like. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
My pleasure.
Very much appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, hey, there's a couple girls on the team. I bugged you all season long. Whether it was a Jeep or a Corvette, I'm still waiting for some keys to borrow here. I'm just saying. I'll trade my truck. Just playing. Again, thank you for all the audio and visual
I have
video.
something. I have something I want to say.
Please, please,
Yeah,
yes.
Coaches, the owner of the 78 black and gold Trans Am out in the parking lot, your lights are on. How many of you are from out of town? Oh, wait. Okay. I'm going to give you just try to be quick about it. But by the end of the third game of the first season, I would film on the home side because they had crow's legs, better advantage. And so by the end of that the third game of the first season, I had never met Coach Mogan. So as I'm walking across the field to meet him after the game, my mother always said, first impressions matter the most. So I'm trying to think, what can I say to this guy? So really the only thing that I thought of as I'm reaching out to shake his hand is, boy, walking across this field brings back a lot of childhood memories. And he said exactly what I wanted him to say. He said, oh, did you play football? And I said, no, I mowed a lot of lawns. Pause for that. Which brings me to you fine ladies, all here. Even through the bumps and bruises and fractures, cuts and sprains you've experienced, I'm impressed with all of your accomplishments. My memories of my football experience goes something like this. In 5th grade in lunch recess, you had the guys picking their teams, the 2 captains, for a flag football during lunch recess. And by the time they got down to the last 4 guys, one team captain said to the other, we'll take the kid with the 2 broken arms. You can have both. I was one of the other 3, which is why I played with dolls. Now, 90% of that story is true. Anyway, I'm grateful for the opportunity to document the moment in time for all of you. As long as YouTube remains online, it can be a forever central communication hub for you to realize the bond that you guys had together. My time is up, and in conclusion, give yourself another coach and yourselves another round of applause. And don't forget to take your lunch. It says here, by this standing ovation, all crowds surf off the podium. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Parents, again, thank you. As a parent, I know the time, energy, and effort you pour into this, and I'm not talking about just the past few months. You guys pour so much into our school, our different programs, of course your girls. Thank you so much for that. Hey, like I mentioned earlier, we are allowed to have our favorites, and I'm not shy to admit that. I get to teach a few different sports throughout the school year. I get to teach that with a lot of different co-workers and assistant coaches and head coaches. And I got to say, my favorite in the past 3 years now, coaching at Durrell, has been this past season with these guys, these girls. It's been my favorite sport and my favorite season. Close to a dozen different other coaches I've had the pleasure to work with, and I have another favorite, and that's Coach Gabe. This is our 4th time, can't count them all. of working with a couple different sports together, and he's by far my favorite coach to work with on campus. Again, I don't believe in happenstance. I don't believe in coincidence. I believe in perfect plans. And tonight, and I don't need to, I'm far enough in my educational career, I don't need to I don't say it properly. I don't need to kiss up at all, but I do have my favorite admin here as well, and I have no shyness of saying that. I'm sincere when I say that. Thank you guys for being here. Man, this sport, this program is just one tiny facet of our entire school that you guys get to lead up and be a part of. And you know, as I was talking about our seniors and a couple of our juniors that these 14-year-old kids get to follow, we get to follow the role and the shoes and the hats you guys wear around campus, so thank you for that leadership for us. Man, I know I'll speak for both of us. We really do enjoy working where we are and for you guys a whole lot, so thank you.
Yeah, give it up for the front office.
Man, I'm finished, dude. I don't know. You got anything?
Thank you guys. Yeah, I appreciate every one of you guys showing out. Shout out to all you guys. So.
Yeah. Thank you. Loud and proud. Let's go.
Oh.
Come on. Let's hear it.
Wait, everyone get it. Let's go, girls.
You heard me, right? Yeah, of course you did.